Welcome to the Help for Leaders podcast. I'm Stacey Harris, and I'm passionate about showing leaders the power of communication and how it can transform their organizations, from Fortune 500 boardrooms all the way to brand new startups. As a leader, your actions and your words transform people and your company culture. So join me as I share tips and insights for elevating your leadership abilities as well as your team's performance. Let's dive right in. Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of the Help for Leaders podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the power that we all possess in our smile. And I want to just challenge you as a leader. There is so much power that we all possess, and it's free. It's a free commodity that we can all share with our facial expressions. And so I was recently reading in Psychology Today an article, it's several years ago, of some research that was done by, let me make sure I'm quoting this right, the University of Missouri, Kansas City. And some students in their college were doing some research on smiling. And so I want to share some of their data with you. I've been fascinated with the smile. I love human behavior. I love brain science in my work with emotional intelligence. And I've known some of these stats about smiling, about literally when we smile, we release chemicals in our brain. And there's kind of a little party that goes on in our brain with dopamine and serotonin and endorphins just from a simple smile. And so I've known that. And when I learned some of these other statistics, I just had to share them with you as well. And first of all, I just want to mention, did you know that we're on YouTube? You can actually see me. You may be listening on other podcast platforms, but we have a YouTube channel. I'm actually recording this in front of a camera. So if you've not checked out our YouTube channel, go to Help for Leaders and you can actually see my smile today, not just hear it in my voice. So first of all, some of the research back to the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Did you know that smiling can make you appear younger? Years are just falling off of me right now as I have this huge smile on my face. And honestly, what they did was it was just perception. They showed photos of individuals smiling and frowning to college students, and they had them guess their age. And for every single person that had a smile on their face, the individual that was looking at the photo guessed a younger age. So smiling can actually make you appear younger. And if you think about it, it's kind of like a mini facelift is happening. When you smile, the edges of your mouth turn up, all of your muscles in your face lift. And so it's free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And it's a powerful tool. So it can make you look younger. Number 2 data point, it can make you look thinner. So not only are the years falling off, the pounds are also melting away right now as I smile. I think this is a fascinating piece of data. And so, again, it was all in documentation, but basically individuals that were smiling, maybe again, it's that upturned face. Maybe when the frown, it looks like we're being weighted down and heavier. I don't understand the research that was done, but I love that it makes you look younger and thinner. The third piece of information from their research, which I've known this, it's all about our mood. It's all about those chemicals that are released in our brain and giving us a sense of well-being. And I've known that from my research with brain science. It does. It absolutely is powerful. And when we can share that smile with someone else, it does the same thing for them. It's hard to not smile at someone when they're smiling at you. It's contagious. Now then, this piece of data was fascinating to me, and I'm not sure if I agree with it or not, okay? So I want to make sure I'm reading it correctly. I want to get my notes here. Smiling induces more pleasure in the brain, even more than chocolate. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if you agree with that, but that was a fascinating data point. And let me actually read again this quote from a book, okay? It's Ron Gutman's book. He's the author of a book called Smile, The Astonishing Powers of a Simple Act, okay? And I'm going to quote it. So let me just read here. He says, British researchers found that one smile can generate the same level of brain stimulation as up to 2,000 bars of chocolate. What? Where do I sign up for this experiment? I think this is fascinating. And who actually ate 2,000 bars of chocolate? Like, I don't understand how this works, but I think it's fascinating and it makes me smile. I hope you're smiling too. But who knows about that one? I'm not completely on the fence with that piece of research, but I think it's fascinating that they've actually done those kinds of correlations. And then the last piece of data, which I've already said, smiling is contagious. It is so powerful. As a leader, when you walk into the room, you have the power to change what's going on in the room by a simple smile. They are contagious. And I think even in this day and age that we're living in, where so many of us are wearing masks a lot of the day, where we can't see the smiles behind those masks, and maybe we're missing out. Maybe those chemicals that were used to being released throughout the day as we're smiling and engaging with others have been depleted. So be mindful, be aware that you actually possess a huge opportunity to increase someone's mood, to help someone just with some encouragement of a simple smile. So remember, smiling makes you look younger, can make you look thinner, helps release the great chemicals in your brain. I don't know about the chocolate thing, but we're going to just put it out there. Maybe it's even more powerful than chocolate. I still love a good piece of chocolate. And they're contagious. And I want to end with a story. Several years ago, my husband and I lived in New York City. In fact, it was right after 9/11, and we had moved to New York with our 3 young kids. And we heard the ice cream truck, Mr. Softee. I don't know if any of you know Mr. Softee, but let me tell you, it is glorious. He's a little soft serve ice cream truck, and there's actually one here in Austin, and he comes to my neighborhood. I have the app on my phone. But when we first moved to New York, we had no idea who Mr. Softee was, and we heard the music. My kids were pretty excited about what that meant. So we gathered our money and we ran down the street, and here we are. We've only been in the city about a month. And I mean, it was literally shell shock. We'd moved from small East Texas, 18,000 people, to New York City. We lived in Queens. Shout out to all my friends in Fresh Meadows. There were literally 14,000 people that lived in my apartment complex. And so we are walking down the sidewalk to get our ice cream. And I haven't even said a word. I haven't opened my mouth. I'm not saying anything to my kids. And Mr. Softee says to me, "You must be from the South." And I thought, how does he know that? I haven't said anything. He hasn't heard my accent, which I do have a bit of an accent. And back then, coming straight from Palestine, East Texas, it was very thick. And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Because of your smile." And it was such a powerful moment. I will never forget. And it was such a huge connecting piece. And I began to look around at all the people that were in the line. And as I was smiling at Mr. Softee and at my kids, and I'm smiling at these people, they began to smile back at me. And I'm telling you, we had a moment right there on the sidewalk in Fresh Meadows, New York, just with a simple smile. And so I want to encourage you today to smile, to use the power of your smile to influence, to communicate significance and value to others. So I hope you've learned a little bit today. I hope you're feeling a little younger, maybe a little thinner, having a little bit better attitude, better mood. And I hope you'll join us next week for our next fun topic on Help for Leaders. Thank you for joining us today. You have the potential to communicate, engage, and lead with significant impact, and my goal is to help you do just that. Whether you're trying to get that next big promotion, scale your small business, or manage a team of thousands, there's always room for growth, and I can help you get there. Go to disc-report.com and find out what style of leader you are by downloading my free ebook on communication. Until next time, lead well and prosper.